looking at the future, the bigger picture, and maybe helping to parents might kind of reframe what does that look like? How do I make that part of school instead of just saying, well, here's your chore for the day.
Right. Yeah. When you're looking at, it's like reverse engineering. You look at where you're going, or no, you look at what you want, what it is that you want at the end of this journey. What are your goals for your child? When they leave your house, what are they going to need? And again, as their parent, you are the one who's going to be able to answer that question better than anybody else. And so you look and say, okay, well, they're going to need to be able to cook if they're going to ever live on their own. They're going to need to be able to understand how to budget, how to balance a checkbook, how to use a credit card, how to shop, how, all of these things that a lot of times we don't even necessarily think through ourselves because we just do them, Yeah. And so kind of analyze your day. What skills do you use over the course of your day? And then start thinking, okay, so what are they going to need to know in order to do those things? What skills do they need? And you kind of work backwards and you go, okay, so here we are right now. Right. We've got this much time, to figure this out. And remember too, it's not like they hit 18 and like the expiration date has come and they don't learn anything past that point. Like 18 is not a cutoff for education. And particularly with special needs kids, they may be home longer than, other kids might typically be. They may have to, they might be with you a lot longer. But that means you've got more time. It's not like you've got to have this deadline. And if they haven't learned it by 18, they're never going to learn it. So don't put this arbitrary cap on your child's education and say it has to be done by then. Right. It does not. But then you start looking at, okay, so what can we do now? Well, if they're going to be able to cook for themselves, they need to understand how to measure things. They need to understand how to, even little things like, what's a wet ingredient versus a dry ingredient? Because if they're following a recipe that says to mix the wet ingredients first and then, put in a little bit of the dry ingredients, okay, like super basic stuff. But again, it's super basic to you because you know it. At one point in your life, it was not basic. It was new information. So you look at all these little things and you just break it down to the very first step that they need to figure out, and then go to the next thing once they get that, and go to the next thing and go. And you're letting them live life with you, bring them alongside you, let them help you make breakfast and lunch and dinner and do the laundry with you. And when you go to the store, show them how to comparison shop, show them how to look at prices and amounts and help them scan, let them scan things on the little scanner and teach them how to use the machines and, let them, my kids half the time, I don't get to do my shopping anymore. They're the ones that want to do, give me your credit card, mom, I want to scan it. And, which is great in a way, like you work yourself out of a job. Isn't that the point of parenting? And so, but again, as you're doing things, you're teaching. Half of what you do in the kitchen is math, yes, exactly. Amounts and adding and subtracting and change, having to convert things. And, so you have, when you look at what you do, you start to see how all of these academic subjects that we compartmentalize as if they don't go together. Right. And you see that they're integrated into life everywhere. And just by living life, you're teaching those things to your child.
And that's the beauty, is we're home with our kids all the time. And we take them with us everywhere, And so, I mean, even though now we're home right now. But
when we go out, we take them.
When we go out, they tend to go with us. And they do everything we do. And so it isn't like your child's at school all day and then you try to get everything done that you can, or rush around when it's inconvenient or, there's a lot of other stuff going on and it's just busy, rush. We can take that time slowly in the places we are. Let's go to the bank. How do we fill out a deposit slip? That's where we're at today. Yeah. It's those types of things that it's the benefit that you have because your children are with you all the time. When we go vote, my kids come with me.
Yep.
Because they're with me,
Yeah. And they're going to have to do it someday. So start learning now.
Get them comfortable with it. So, yeah, definitely.